Hello everybody, it's Trevin once again for another round of bootleg DVDs that I'm going to review. Or maybe not, because instead I tricked you all. This is clickbait. This is total clickbait. We're going to look at this Shaquille O'Neal TV guide from December 21st of 2002. Yes, from 2002. Right? Maybe Maylin from Turning Red had this exact TV guide and looked at it and was like, that Shaq guy is so cool. You know what I mean? So anyways, let's flip through all the great stuff. You know, all the great advertisements in here. Look at that, Ice Age. Look at that, Ice Age right there, you know? Look at that, Lilo and Stitch on a VHS. Isn't that amazing? You know, let's flip through it. Flip through it. You know? Look at that, Toon Disney, the Santa Claus Brothers with Bryan Cranston. You know, look at that. Rob Schneider and the Animal, rated PG 13. We got Beetlejuice and Fools in a Rush with Matthew Perry. Yes, and proving that the most successful thing Matthew Perry has ever done was Friends. You know, we got Scrat and we got Bad Company. You ain't got no Chris Rock on here. Why is Chris Rock not in this photo? That makes no damn sense to me. You know, some NHL. You know, look at that. Life Wide Open. You know, that Internet El Dofio, whatever it is. Just look at that. And look at Mariah Carey dominating the goddamn freaking Christmas songs. You know, I wish I can live in a universe where I would not have to hear Mariah Carey's music during Christmas. Oh, look at that. Stuart Little 2. You know, Austin Powers 3, Men in Black 2. Oh, look, Bob the Builder VHS, Bob's White Christmas. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that just purely amazing, fantastic? And look at this, Sarah Hughes' Life in Balance, hosted by Brittany Snow of American Dreams. Yeah, before Pitch Perfect and before X. This is what Brittany Snow is remembered for. Isn't that quite amazing? But you know what? I'm gonna go and review some damn bootlegs here, okay? Might as well. I can't escape the bootlegism. I'm sorry I bored you guys with this issue of the TV guide. So anyways, let's look at You Got Served. If you want respect, you gotta take it and make your move. This movie is absolutely ridiculously cheesy, but it's one of my favorite so bad it's good movies. Yes. And of course you got the spine, You Got Served. And no, this movie is not about Olivia Wilde. So, we have that. But it says here, comedy and musical / performing arts. Now, this movie I would define as an unintentional comedy. But not as a comedy, you know? So this movie just really doesn't have anything, you know, to say really negative about it, I guess, in terms of presentation. But we do have that good old white disc. So, that can only mean one thing. This is going to be a very bland bootleg. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's load that bootleg in there. And yes, I am shooting from the TV again, but that's just how I roll. By the way, if you're hearing a whooshing in the background, that's because my fan's on, because it's really hot where I'm at. And it is, once again, the annual, well, not annual, but the casual return of the Garfield DVD bootleg menu, as I like to call it here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to click play, and we got the Screen Gems logo that's frozen right now. Isn't that amazing? Some Screen Gems. And now it's not frozen anymore, but I'm turning the TV up, and I can't hear the sound. Really grayish. And there's the sound. There's that sound quality. Compared to a lot of bootlegs, the sound quality is not as terrible as you'd think, as one would think it would be, or at least judging from that portion of the movie. But this is what I like to consider, like I said, a hood bootleg. Typically, a person like myself, that is an African American, would probably have a family member, or maybe even a friend, that would have had this bootleg in their collection. But this bootleg, I guess, isn't too bad, but it's worthless because I already have this movie on Blu-ray. Guilty as charged. But hey, maybe this bootleg of Michael Bay's The Island might be worth it. This is one of the most driest posters out here, or driest posters I've seen for a bootleg. I'm familiar with the one sheet that has a obviously photoshopped Scarlett Johansson and an obviously photoshopped Ewan McGregor on it. Not necessarily this one. Looking at this bootleg, it kind of looks like one of those, like the impression I get is it looks like something, like one of those indie flicks, like Eternal Sunshine or something like that. That's the vibe I get from this, is it's an indie sci-fi film. And that's a really good thing, because I like indie sci-fi. I loved, what is that, Everything Everywhere All at Once. I just saw that again for the third time before I did this video. Pointless information, but I just love that movie. And there is the disc for The Island, which these bootleggers really went the extra mile on this one by drawing a tree on it, which I just, you gotta love. Sometimes these bootleggers have a very interesting sense of humor. And they even took the time to label man/woman escaped from a mad world or from a mal world. I have no idea. I have yet to see this film, but eventually I'll need to, as I've heard that this is one of Michael Bay's better films. So now we'll put this bootleg in the DVD player, or the player, and we'll see what this bootleg has to offer as it is reading. And that's loud. It's a trailer for V for Vendetta, which makes me realize that this might actually be shot, that this might be one of the first bootlegs I have that has, yes, trailers from the theater. Because usually when I get these, like a lot of times there's usually like no theatrical trailers. I've always really wanted to have one of those bootlegs that had trailers on it. And this one has a trailer for V for Vendetta. This one has a trailer for I don't know what that last movie was. I don't know what that last movie is. And then we have a trailer for Just Like Heaven, starring Reese Witherspoon. This is when Reese Witherspoon was getting a little more Hollywood. And then we got a trailer for Red Eye. Look at beautiful Rachel McAdams. She's the greatest. You know, I like this movie, but this trailer really, like, they knew it was like a hard sell. Because when you have to put in, like, the names of movies that these actors were in, you know, that really kind of shows you that the studio didn't really have a lot of faith in the movie. You know, even with the name Wes Craven, it really didn't give them a lot of hope. And I'm assuming that this will be the start of the film, The Island. Yep, there we go, with the DreamWorks variant logo and the Warner Brothers variant logo. I was looking at the runtime of this bootleg. Okay, so this bootleg's broken up into I think titles instead of chapters. So let me see what they have. Let me see what they did at the end of the bootleg. There's no menu on this bootleg. Yeah, this is totally Michael Bay just fast forwarding. Yeah, so there's no menu on the bootleg, but it did come with trailers. So that's a plus. That is definitely a plus. So actually this bootleg wasn't too bad. This bootleg was actually quite interesting compared to a lot of the bootlegs we have here on the bootleg DVD series that I do here. But speaking of Red Eye, I also have, ta-da, Red Eye here on DVD bootleg. And I also have this movie on bootleg Blu-ray as well, because Paramount has not released it to Blu-ray officially. But once they do, I definitely will pick this one up. Fingers crossed it'll be a 4K. And this is my favorite film, starring the absolutely divine Rachel McAdams. Yep, there's the disc. And let's put this sucker in there. See what we got. And let's see if there's any music in the menu. Yeah, there's some music there, which I'm not going to play a whole bunch of. But of course, let's go to the previews. We got a preview for Supercross, which is a movie I saw a long time ago as a kid on HBO, and I don't remember really much about this film. And we also have a trailer for Just Like Heaven, also starring Reese Witherspoon, which is fitting because this is a DreamWorks film, and that was also a DreamWorks film. But look at that! I go to a selection that has chapters on it, only to get another screen that has chapters on it. But let's see what the quality of this bootleg stacks up to be, or how this stacks up, and the quality, or how this bootleg stacks up for quality. I'm trying to talk right now, ladies and gentlemen, but I can't. I just want to see the audio, because the video obviously is not that great. You see that it's really dark.
You just gotta get used to the fact that life changes and sometimes things happen.
Yeah, the quality's pretty mediocre, as one would expect. But hey, at least you get an excuse to look at Rachel McAdams and Cillian Murphy on this bootleg, which I'm not complaining about that. One of the things I forgot to mention was this is one of those movies like the Simpsons movie that is like so short that the credits are like 10 minutes long. So yep, there's that bootleg. And I'm going to cut. And being that I just showed part of the trailer to Supercross, why don't I also show the bootleg of Supercross? Again, have not seen this movie in a long time. Now, unlike the other ones we've looked at, this one actually gives me a little bit to look at, because all this stuff down here is for the filmed Curse, which is directed by Wes Craven. I think there's a little bit of a bootleg DVD parallel here that I'm seeing. So check this out, right? So one of the first bootlegs we looked at was The Island, right? And The Island had a trailer for Red Eye. And I also had a bootleg of Red Eye. Now, Red Eye had a trailer to Supercross, and Red Eye was directed by Wes Craven. And now I have this bootleg of Supercross here, and it stole the credits from Cursed, which is also directed by Wes Craven. So a whole bunch of parallels there. A whole bunch of parallels here in this bootleg DVD video. It might be a little confusing, but I might have to draw a grid at some point. And there's the disc right there. And speaking of Cursed, that movie just got a Blu-ray release thanks to Shout Factory, which, as far as I know, comes with both versions of that film. So now the disc is loading. And let's see the music for this one. Okay, I'm not going to play a whole bunch of that, but let's see what we got for previews. And we got a preview of Supercross, and just like Heaven, just like the last bootleg of Red Eye, there's also another parallel there. Let me see what the quality is like. So this just starts out, no 20th Century Fox logo, nothing, just starts out. But let's see what we got for the audio quality, because the video quality, like I said, is obviously just kind of what you'd expect. Yeah, I mean, there's probably not a lot of dialogue in a movie like this, just probably a lot of sick, like, Supercross shots and stuff like that, you know what I mean? This feels like one of those movies that I'd see on, like, Tubi TV, or, like, YouTube free movies or something like that. It just has that kind of vibe going on. Alright, let's look at this bootleg of The Brave One, directed by Neil Jordan, and also starring Jodie Foster. And this is the unrated edition of this film, which I didn't even know that this movie had an unrated edition. You know, I never knew that this movie had an unrated edition. That's kind of interesting, actually. Of course, I am being sarcastic, as I don't think this movie would have had an unrated edition. Which I don't know where they stole this unrated logo from, actually, now that I think about it. And then we go to the back here. You know, I think they might have stole that from a website or something like that, but I have no idea. And then we got, you know, all this stuff down here, which I don't know where they stole this from. Oh, they stole this from Blade 2, actually, this part here in the middle. And then all this stuff down here is from Flags of Our Fathers, directed by Clint Eastwood. And there's the disc for The Brave One. And like I said, my predictions is that this is just going to be another bland bootleg. I don't think really any bootleg DVDs that I'm going to do is going to top like that last one where I found that TNT airing of Glory and Honor. That was just something that I like never expected to ever see. And yeah, it just starts out with the movie with the Warner Brothers variant. I will say I am kind of shocked that I don't think Jodie Foster has done a Marvel movie or a superhero movie. Not to my knowledge. She's one of the few that hasn't done one of those kind of films. We got some Tim Burton here on bootleg with Corpse Bride. You can't even see the title Corpse Bride. You just see Tim Burton's, and then they just cut it off really badly. But at least you see it here on the spine. yeah, not much to say about this one. And this one is already trying to escape. But we'll put it in the player and we'll see what we got. And so let's see if there's music. It's the same music from the Red Eye bootleg. But for previews, oh look, Supercross and Just Like Heaven. Wow, again, another darn parallel here. All we have to do now is just look at the quality, or the audio quality.
My life, silly, isn't it?
Yes, silly.
Yeah, this would have been passable if I was like a little kid and I had this movie on bootleg, which I did not actually. So, you know, but if I did, this would have been actually pretty passable at the time. Nothing really much to say about this one, unfortunately. And then we got Back in the Day, starring Ja Rule and Ving Rhames. Or is it Ving Rhames? I've never heard of this movie, actually, to tell you the truth. But it's got to be good. When I saw this, actually, I thought at first it was like some kind of Ja Rule music video compilation or something like that. But then I saw Ving Rhames' name and I was like, oh wait, it is like a movie. Or, you know, the disc calls it Back Day, which, judging from the name and judging from these actors, I assume that this is a film in which Ving Rhames is trying to scratch Ja Rule's back. Or maybe it's like the scene in Spider-Man No Way Home where Andrew Garfield is cracking Tobey Maguire's back. Maybe it's something like that. Only I would assume it would be. I'm probably the only person on earth to make some kind of joke about a movie that nobody thinks about at all. You know? And this comes to us from West Coast Art. Isn't that amazing? But let's see what the menu music sounds like. Yep, I can't play anything of that before I get a copyright strike. But let's see the previews here. Well, the previews are not Just Like Heaven and Supercross, but they're Chicken Little and Madagascar. Yes, Chicken Little and Madagascar. Trailers for kids movies on this bootleg DVD, which I assume this is not a kids movie. I'm just going to say that this film is not a kids movie. Definitely not an animated film, but I don't think that this is a family motion picture, you know? I don't think you really need to click on these trailers. I mean, I'm pretty sure that they just come with the trailers themselves. Yeah, this is a kids movie right here. This is something you'll see in family entertainment. I'll actually click on this one. I just want to see what... So this one looks like it has the movie. Again, I've never heard of this movie, but this is probably one of those Bounce TV or Tubi TV kind of films, you know? Or if you're like me growing up, you go to Walmart and they always had like those DVDs, that one section that appealed to the African American community with all those movies that like never came out to theaters. You know, the Pastor Jones and stuff. You know, the Maverick Entertainments and all that. If you guys know what I'm talking about, you guys probably don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But hey, I got The Fog. And this is the remake of the John Carpenter film, which is a movie that I hear is really terrible. But hey, I have fun watching bad movies, so maybe this one would be kind of decent, but I have no freaking clue. And now I'm just rambling, ladies and gentlemen. So now it's reading. And let's see what the music is. It's the same music as the Red Eye in the bootleg for Corpse Bride. It's the same damn music. I'm gonna go to previews. Let me guess. Is it gonna be Just Like Heaven and Supercross? If it is, I might end up buying a lottery ticket. Oh yeah, it totally is. It totally is. You know what? If I buy a lottery ticket, I probably am gonna win. You know? I'll probably just try to get my hopes up. You know? And let's see if I can just try to find a portion with some audio.
Is your girlfriend in town?
Yeah, she is.
Good. Been here a while?
Yeah, the audio's not that great, but What did I expect? Did I really expect great audio? It's a bootleg DVD. Why am I complaining about this stuff? You know, I've been doing these videos for like 7 years, and like, it's always the same jokes, same content. But last but not least, we got this bootleg of Cadillac Records, starring Adrian Brody and Beyonce and Jeffrey Wright. And this is the MGM widescreen edition, which I don't remember this being an MGM movie, actually. Now that I think about it, I'm not sure. It could have been, but I'm just not entirely sure. But I am 100% sure on one thing, that this whole back, except the still images, is stolen from the ill-fated sequel to Get Shorty, Be Cool. So I am sure about that. I am definitely sure about that. So there's the disc. And this also comes with an advertisement for Anthony's Paint and Body Shop since 1945. And it's in Inglewood, California. So they probably had this bootleg. So some free advertising here on this bootleg DVD series. Some free advertising. Oh, it's a screener. Isn't that great? You gotta love that. Property of Columbia Pictures. Yes, that's how you spell Columbia Pictures, bootleggers. I like that Garfield bootleg. And you can either accept or decline it. I never really understand like why they put a decline thing. 'Cause if you decline it, it's like, you know, you just click this and then, you know, and then I'm gonna just click yes, I'm sure. And then that's it. You just get like a black screen. That's it, you know, nothing. And then all you have to do is just click play again, and the disc just comes back up. Like there's really no real, like they're not really preventing anything, I guess, by doing that. So I'll accept it. And we get some FBI warning screens, obviously. I read somewhere that like they're not gonna start, or they stopped doing the Academy screeners, and now they're just gonna do like digital screeners or something like that, which I think is a little better, because like, you know, in terms of like trying to hide stuff, I guess. Honestly, if you work for like the MPAA and like if you're like an Academy Award voter and you're getting sent free movies or free screeners, why in the hell would you ever want to leak one of them out? You know, I think that would be like I think that's the stupidest thing to do. Unless you let somebody else loan it, but then why would you let anybody else loan it, you know? Like, I don't know. I don't understand how these leak out, to tell you the truth. It just never makes any sense to me. And it's the TriStar Pictures movie, but the bootleg said, or not bootleg, the screener said Columbia Pictures, but, you know, they're not lying. They should have just wrote, like, property of Sony or something like that. But I don't make the rules. Other than that, there's really nothing else to talk about here. So, yeah, that rounds up this edition of the bootleg DVD videos. Thanks, everybody, for watching this video, and I'll see you guys somewhere in the near future.